I attended Shelby Sapp's webinar, and oh my god, it wasn't what I expected. If you don't know Shelby Sapp yet, she's a woman in sales. She makes $4.8 million per month from her coaching business, and that means $685,000 every Monday. Why do I say Monday? Because every Monday she hosts a webinar inside Zoom that she sells to over 4,000 women who want to get started with sales. They are single moms or they are working in a job, either started as a part-time side thing or as a whole career. That's where she come in. So before we jump into the webinar and you see my reaction to the webinar, I want to tell you first how she gets people into this webinar real quick. And if you actually want to implement the same exact strategy, just simply click the first link in the description. So when you opt into this page from her Instagram, you see that there's a timer on top that says there is like 3 days left from the masterclass. So you can click on top to reserve a masterclass. Then she says how to step into high ticket sales with Shelby. So these are like more nurtured audience. So she doesn't have to actually have a VSO to explain it. She can just give you the webinar. So she explained what you're going to learn in the masterclass. You're going to learn hidden sales rules, opportunities, frameworks, and what will work for you best in the industry. Here's where it gets interesting. She says, this is for you if. So these are all the things that describes her audience, and this is not for you if. So she's kind of qualifying and disqualifying. So the random disqualified people will just jump out of the page. Maybe their gender is a problem, their age is a problem, they don't have enough money, they're not ambitious enough. These are all qualification factors that she's looking for, and she's qualifying and disqualifying her audience based on these. And then here's a little explanation about like who she is and what she did. It's time to build your dream life. Just join the masterclass, right? So here we click on the link, we go to another page. So she's explaining to you that you are so unique that you booked this call, and this triggers this emotion in you that you have taken the first step. Okay, you have taken the first step. Let's go for the second one. After the second one, we'll go for the third one. And when you say yes to the first thing, saying yes to the second thing is much easier. And so she makes it really easy by just making this masterclass free. This masterclass is free, you can join it. And then she sells you her program, right? And then she says, yeah, it's 8 p.m. EST, and click here to add it to your calendar. And then you receive an email from her that she's telling you to add it again to your calendar and make sure that you actually are going to attend on the masterclass. Then again, this was, I guess, 2 days ago, 2 days before the webinar. This was like 1 day before the webinar. She said there's only 1 day left from the webinar, and I'll check again. She also sent another one the last hour before the webinar that she said, hi Rahman, this is a reminder that the webinar is going to begin in 1 hour. Add it to your calendar, join the webinar. If the button didn't work, paste this into your browser, and here are all of the numbers that you can call if it didn't work. Beautiful. Now, if you're ready, we can get started with the webinar. What I want you to do is to take notes at what I'm breaking down. So when I like tell you that she's teasing the audience up, she's giving motivation, you write 1, she gave motivation. 2, she gave call to action. 3, she's giving testimonials. You can write all of them down in order because the order is really, really important. So let's start.
Okay, I want you to imagine like you are sitting right here next to me, taking your notes, asking questions. When I tell you, type something in the chat, type it in the chat. When I ask you a question, hey, what do you do for this? Say it. My job is to tailor this training tonight to you guys. Okay, someone said, am I live? Yes, I'm live. Look, 7:59, July 28th, let's go.
It's really important to show your emotion at the beginning of the call, that you're not just a lazy person coming into the call and you just prepared for the call like 5 minutes ago. And so she's showing her emotions. She's also giving a lot of motivation. Before, she gave an explanation about why you should take notes in this call, which is really important. And she said, think that you're here with me actually. So don't think that you're just washing the dishes or you're walking your dog or etc.
Before we start, you guys, y'all mind if I tease you a little bit? Y'all mind if I kind of draw some motivation, draw out like why we are here? Someone said, please do, please do. Okay, let's go. I
Another thing is the interaction with the chat, right? She's not like having this mindset that I'm talking to a camera. She's actually talking to an audience, just like you see in streams, right? This is why streamers are getting a lot of views, because you have this interaction with people, and every single webinar should have this interaction with the chat.
I had a girl working a finance corporate 9 to 5, no sort of sales experience, but she's a smart girl, amazing woman. She decided to get into sales. How much did she make last month? I just want to see what you guys think is possible. 20K, 40K, 30K. She made 72,000 AUD. Not USD, AUD, but that translates, or transfers, whatever, into $50,000 USD in a month. Pretty freaking cool. Y'all want to know about part-time though? Because those girls are full-time, right? What about part-time? Okay, I have a girl that is right now working a full-time job in marketing. She's high up in some sort of marketing company, okay? She closes deals on a marketing offer. Guess how much she made last month taking part-time closing calls around her full-time job? In a month. 5K, 10K, 8K, $26,000. That's after her job.
Now, in your notes under motivation, you can give it another point, and that would be giving testimonials.
First of all, you guys, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for showing up tonight, Tuesday night, 90 minutes of sitting down and getting intentional about it. Y'all mind if I get into it? Y'all mind if we start? I wish I could have some music with me. Like, what is this going on? I hate the complete silence. Okay, let's get going. I've got the chat pulled up on the left over here. Y'all, type in the chat because I showed this to you guys earlier. Type in the chat. Can y'all see this? Guys, type. Type for me. Yeah, we live, baby. Let's go. Can you guys see this? Okay, so welcome. I am now your official mentor for the next 90 minutes, and I want you to imagine like you are part of an exclusive club. When I asked you guys, where are you from? You said different states, different countries. We are global. When I asked you, what do you do for work? Some of you have sales experience, some of you don't. That is totally okay. You do not need to have sales experience in order to make money as a remote closer. And when I asked you, why do you want to be here? A couple versions of the same truth. And the same truth is I want more freedom, more security, more confidence.
The first thing is the welcome message. And in the welcome message, you should set the agenda. So, right, set the agenda. In the agenda, you want to tell the audience what you want from them. And she's explaining that I don't want to sell anything to you. Right? So you make them comfortable to listen to the end of the video. And you don't sell them anything, but you tell them if you want to become a higher level in the thing that we are talking about, if you want to move to the next level, here's the link. Just exactly what Alex Hormozi did in the $100 million book launch, that he said, no, I won't sell you anything. And then he just sold the big membership. He gave the book for free. This is exactly what she does. She gives the strategy for free. Then she charges you for the high ticket sales training.
Okay? The caveat is this though. At the end of the training, there will be a handful of you guys who are like, wait a minute, I'm so serious about actually becoming a remote closer and I want to start tomorrow. And I want Shelby and her team to hold my hand until I get on an offer. And for those of you guys, I will drop a booking link to where you can book a free advisory call to see what it would look like on the more mentorship side. Does that sound good though? I train y'all for free, and then if I earned the right in order to do so, I drop that free link and try to help you guys further, yeah? All right, love you guys, let's go. So let's get something out of the air really quick. Let's clear the air, because I know maybe you've seen me on social media, speaking on stages, loud, controversial opinions, training all these girls. That was so far from the case when I first started, okay? My story is, I was the shyest girl that you would have ever met. If you were to pass me in the halls in high school, hey Shelby, how was your weekend? I would stutter and choke on my words, and I would think about it for the next 5 to 7 business days. I was awkward, believe it or not. And I had no crazy network, no crazy connections, and I was raised by a single mom. Shout out if you were raised by a single mom, or if you are the single mom, because you have seen firsthand a woman rebuild her life from scratch with pure hard work. And so that was me, right?
Now, after you set the agenda, you can give them your story. It's a part of credibility. It is also telling you, bringing yourself down that, yeah, I was once just like you. And I made the transformation. I'm not some crazy alien, right? Making like millions of dollars a month. I was just a normal person and I'm still a normal person. And you can see this from her actual emotions and her gestures. And as she talks, you can understand that she's absolutely a normal person.
First, maybe you've come to this class thinking of few limiting beliefs. Maybe you're like, all right, I'm here for this high ticket sales masterclass. I've heard a lot about it. My friend said she told me to go, but sales is so scary. Sales is scary. That scares me. Maybe you're like, I just need job security. I need a steady salary. Or maybe you're like, Shelby, I'm here, but I don't know how to sell, let alone talking to people really isn't my strong suit. That one was me, by the way. Or maybe you're like, dude, I've tried some sales stuff in the past. It wasn't for me. Or maybe you just don't know if you're at a point in life right now where you feel confident to the core to where you can actually get to that next level and actually.
Now, after she gave her story, what does she do? She needs everyone's attention. Okay, maybe some people didn't resonate with that story a lot, right? So she has to target every single one. If you're a single mom, if you actually don't have experience in sales, if you tried sales that didn't work, if you are here for the sauce, if you're here for the offer implementation, if you're here for the skills, anything that this will help you.
So this was my start in sales. Okay, and no, it was not at this coffee shop. But this is the real coffee shop that I worked at for almost 4 years, okay? In my coffee shop era, not only am I a barista getting paid $8 an hour, I'm interning for 2 other companies, I'm door dashing on the side. I am working any job I can find to just look for something, okay? And I remember sitting at my college dorm, laptop open, doing my bills from the month before. And I'm like, after paying my car, my rent, my loans, all the things, I'm left with a couple $100. And let me know if you guys have ever felt this before, but I felt so frustrated because I'm like, no. I worked every free hour that I possibly could last month. Your girl was door dashing if she had a free hour. Like, how am I ever going to match the internal delusions that I have in my head, which is traveling, building savings, living an amazing life, when I'm doing the most and I feel like I'm just like treading water? And so I kind of knew that I needed to work hard, but in something else. I just didn't know what that was going to be until my first mentor. And pause, because by mentor, I mean some random guy that just came and spoke at one of my college classes. Okay. Nevertheless, my first quote unquote mentor, he is speaking to my college class about how he started the company called Carvana. You guys know those car vending machine companies? Huge company, okay? Super successful guy. He is telling the class, you guys need to get into sales. And I was sitting in the crowd, I'm like writing notes. I'm like, what? Sales? Huh? He goes, no, sales is the best skill set that he learned in order to become this big businessman version of himself. And he made a lot of money in a short period of time, to which he used to start his company. And so for me, I wanted to be the female version of him. So I'm like, okay, if he started out in sales and he's telling me to do that, I'll do that. And so guys, that night I typed into Google, sales internship hiring now. And the first thing that popped up was a door-to-door sales summer internship, selling pest control in Minnesota, a state I've never been to. And if that sounds very random and from left field, it was. But that's my whole start of my villain origin story, okay? So I flew out to Minnesota for my training, learning a few things about the sales process. Until the night before I was supposed to knock my first door. You guys, the idea of sales, the idea of knowing that somebody's gonna open up the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and little me's gonna be standing there with a clipboard, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I don't like talking to people. Why did I do this? I felt this fear and I caved.
So another thing I wanted to explain is that, you explain a lot of things that didn't work for you to actually show that your solution is the best solution, right? If you have tried like 20 things and none of them worked, but one of them that you're teaching right now has worked for you, that makes that thing really special, right? That's why when you look at Brett's skills, he tells you, I started with trading, I did Bitcoin, I did Forex, none of that worked, just freelance brand scaling worked.
I quit my first sales job the night before I was supposed to start. Hours before I was supposed to sell my first person, I did. I called my manager. His name was Dylan at the time. Hey, Dylan, this all looks great.
Did his name change?
But timing's not right. I've got all these things going on back at home. Like, I'll just come back next summer. He saw straight through my BS excuse, and he said something along the lines of, the timing's never perfect. There's just time in what you do with it. You're already here. You might as well knock your first door tomorrow and try it. And he hung up on me. And I remember sitting on my bed being like, oh my gosh, like visibly shaking, like, am I about to try sales tomorrow? But I decided my life will never change if I don't make a change in my skill set. And thank God I did, because long story short, obviously it worked out. After I knocked the first door, I was the best sales rep every year. And I was the only girl. So it was fun, it was exhilarating, the money was great, I was learning a ton. But I fell in love with the idea that I could speak words and create money out of thin air. And more so, the hard work that I could put into something was finally coming out back to me in the form of a paycheck. It was the most freeing feeling to finally have that sense of control in my life. But I realized three things with this whole in-person door-to-door sales experience. Number one, I was one of the only girls in the company. Okay, if you have or still work with a bunch of dudes, I don't even have to explain that to you. You just don't really feel like you fit in company culture. You feel a little out of place, a little uncomfy. So that was me. Number two, every girl that joined the company, they had me train them. I was the female sales trainer for all these girls. And they achieved massive success like they hadn't before because I kind of cracked the code on how a woman should approach the deal. But number three is the biggest point that I'm getting at. And let me know if you've ever felt this tug in your head of like, okay, being in person, in 120 degrees heat, moving to a different state every year, like, this is good for now. You know, like, it's not sustainable, but this is good for now. Because in my head, one of my biggest goals in life is to be an amazing mom. At the end of the day, I want to be a present mom. I want to make the lunches. I want to take my kids to school. And so for me, I'm like, how will I be able to be?
Now, inside her story, she uses the open and close loop strategy. You start something that is really engaging, you don't finish it, you start another one, then you finish the last one, and this cycle goes on and on like a chain. Now, under loop inside your note, open something and write two things. She does two things inside these loops. And this is the ultimate goal of the webinar. She has to do it a little, like in a little secret way, so you don't understand that that is her actual goal. And those are earning your trust and pre-handle the objection. Earning your trust to book the call, pre-handle the objection to sell you up front easily. And her program is actually $7,000, right? So she has to pre-handle the objection. You can't close a $7,000 deal if you haven't pre-handled the objections.
And knocking on doors, like, that doesn't make sense. So I always had my eye on something that was work from home and remote, just for my personal lifestyle. But what happened then? By the end of my last summer doing door-to-door sales, you guys, I was running a sales team of 80 sales reps. And just to put that into perspective, that was massive growth in such a short amount of time. Because 3-4 years before that, I was working at the coffee shop, serving iced lattes. Like, being responsible for 80 individuals' incomes, their mindsets, talking them off the ledge when they're doubting themselves, like, it was a lot. But it was worth it because I led the first female sales team to do $10 million in company history. And that was in a 4-month time span. It was huge. And I was kind of
That is right.
The woman that was training all the women in sales. So much so that the company offered me a guaranteed $300,000 just to simply come back next year and run the same team again. There's a but. And I see you guys in the chat. I know you're probably thinking, like, why would there ever be a but after that kind of a sentence? Like, if I was guaranteed $300K to go back to a company I'm already established in to do the same thing over and over, I would never pass that. I agree. And I want you to know, $300,000 is a lot of money. especially at that point in my career. But I want you to know that it would have taken me a literal miracle to pass up on that kind of money. But that's kind of what happened. Okay, so at the end of my last summer doing door-to-door sales, I'm back in Arizona visiting one of my best guy friends from my hometown. I'm like, what do you do for work? We're catching up. He said sales. And I'm like, interesting. You hate people. You never leave the house. Like, what are you doing? Are you cold calling for insurance, tech sales, like software? What are you doing? He said, no, none of that. It's called high ticket sales. I'm like, interesting. Never heard of that before. Enlighten me. He goes, no, you don't get it. I'm a remote closer for an online service-based business. They put leads onto my calendar. I press the Zoom link and I show them what's included, answer any questions, and when they want to join, I get paid for that closing conversation. And I'm like, wait a minute. You don't get warm leads like that. Like, that doesn't exist. I thought it was fake because my brain was so used to literally knocking on doors, begging people to even listen to me. Like, there's no way. He goes, okay, fine. I'll show you some of my recorded calls. I'm listening to some of his calls. And I got the gist of what he was selling. It was pretty simple. So y'all know me. I'm the competitive type. I was like, if you can do it, let me try one. Let me take your next call. I took his next call, and I closed the deal in under 10 minutes. It was a laydown. It was a very easy client. No objections. Pretty simple. And I'm like, okay, maybe that was just a fluke, a one-time, easy client. They can't all be like this. So I'm like, let me take your next one just to be sure. I took his next call, and it was another close. Not in 10 minutes. It was a little trickier, but I closed that. And in that moment, I remember sitting back in his gamer chair, just like sinking back, being like, dude, I just made $2,000 talking to people who already wanted to talk to me. They already somewhat wanted it. They're excited about it. I somewhat wanted it. They're excited about it. I just have to show them what it is. And in that moment, I knew two things to be true. Number one, I made him Venmo me for the deals because so it's kind of grown into the high ticket industry to completely dominate the high ticket industry. I took a bet because I realized over the last couple of years being in sales, there's really only one industry of sales that can bring you the freedom that you're looking for because you can do remote closing either part-time or full-time.
So then we get back to the full circle of the funnel, right? Starting to explain the journey with a storytelling strategy in a fun way. Then she started to remove objections from your mind. I don't know sales. Well, I didn't know sales from the beginning. What if I don't have any sales skills? Well, from the beginning, I didn't have any skills. I was that shy lady that didn't talk to anyone.
Choose your own hours. And it's fully remote. So to me, it was just a complete no-brainer. And the result is this. We've started a literal movement. I've trained thousands of women across the world and helped them land their dream jobs in high-ticket sales. So it's kind of grown into this big, massive machine that's a lot larger than just Shelby.
So just write down after the story, the loop of strategy, just write down results, case studies, and proof of the mechanism.
That was always the vision. That was always the point. And I'm so proud of every single one of these women for taking the chance and taking the bet on them. And for the next hour and a half, you guys, we'll cover every single little detail in this 90 minutes. But first, we need to lay the foundation. Okay, your job actually starts. Okay, there's an exercise that I had done on me in the beginning of my sales career that I attribute the way that I've been able to almost quantum leap my success in a short period of time to this exercise. I'm going to put all of us through it, okay? It's going to be cringy. This is your disclaimer. It's a little woo-woo. It's a little cringy. But when I do this, my student, I do it on them every single year. When I do this on my students, they start tearing up a little bit, some of them at the end, because it is so powerful to actually sit down and be like, okay, where exactly will I be 1 year from now? Not one, where will I be? Going to allow us all to do it. Everybody close your eyes. What? Close my eyes? Why would I close my eyes? I'm doing the dishes. I'm on a walk. Why would I close my eyes?
You see, it's perfect how she gets connected to her audience.
Trust me, give yourself 5 minutes and crazy motivation is not July 28th of 2026 anymore. Okay, we just teleported to 1 year from now. Okay, so it is now July, but of 2027. And you are the absolute wealthiest, happiest, and most aligned version of yourself. So I want you to imagine your perfect morning 1 year from now. And you wake up with the best sleep ever, and you look beside you. Who's there? You know, is it your husband? Maybe you're alone. You're just starfish sprawled out in that big bed. But who are you spending a slow, peaceful morning? You know, you sit up. You open your eyes. They're a little crusty, but that's okay. And you look around the room. What do you see? What color are the walls? What pictures are hanging on the walls? Get specific. Okay, now you're walking on over to the window. You open it. Where are you? Where do you live? Do you see the beach? Can you hear crashing waves? Are you looking over at a penthouse skyline?
The biggest fundamental in sales is to bridge the gap between the current situation and the dream outcome. She said, I wasn't a special person. I didn't do anything crazy. Just like you right now with your current situation that you're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're behind your bills and all of the pain points and problems that she just talked about. So right current situation, breaking down to pain points, problems to the desired outcome. And there's a gap between. You bridge the gap with your offer, okay? And she explains it in extreme detail, like what is your car, what is the color of the wall, what are the paintings that are hanging off your wall, like in literal detail. When you think about your dream life, then your mind kind of puts you in there and gives you the dopamine already, right? So you can't accept that you're currently at the position right now in the current situation when you're behind your bills. You now believe that you're in that desired out. So now you have to bridge that gap.
To remember this feeling and bottle it up and access it the next time that the going gets rough, because I will be the first one to tell you. If you want dramatic change in a short period of time, there's going to be a lot of high highs. There's also going to be some hard moments. But it's the women who withstand those hard moments by coming back to their why they are working for. That is how you play the market. And I want you to know that, yeah, we just visualized your dream life. This is not some dream life that exists. This is your life. This is where you will be 12 months from now. It's already done. Now you're just going to complete in order to make it a reality. Type me in the chat if you're committing, not to me, but to yourself.
This confirms what I just said, but just saying that this is yourself right now. Don't come down anymore, right? If you get back to your current situation, you're not going to work. You're not going to buy my course to actually get to the desired outcome, right? You're going to stay where you're at right now. That is your dream life. That is who you are right now. You should work your literal ass off for it, and you should just work with me, right? That's and she's again telling the audience to type me if you're committing, right? And when you're giving a call to action to some people and they're doing that, actually saying yes to it, they're a lot likely to say yes to another thing, as we just talked about. You've done the gap thing, you opened and closed loops. Now, what is the time? It is actually the time to show that this industry has the potential to do that for you, right? You think about the cars, okay, those cars are great, but there are a lot of paths that you can get those cars from, right? You want the pink Porsche, but you can do 1,000 things to get into that position. But she says there's this gap right here, right? And I've done it, my clients have done it. I have a lot of authority over it. It actually works. She's explaining how it's going to work for you. Then you are actually warm to get into her program. I'm going to skip all of that training kind of stuff and get to her when she drops the link, so we can actually save a lot of time not listening to the BS and just skipping right through the dropping of the link and the call to action.
Can you see yourself learning a skill, showing up to training constantly? Can you see yourself role playing? Can you see yourself networking with the community? Can you see yourself applying, interviewing, getting on offers? And even if that seems far away, it won't. Once you're at the point, you'll feel more excited to do it. Can you see this for you? Because for those of you guys that can, I want to ask you one question that you can just answer on your own. If you would have done this 1 year ago today, where exactly would you be today?
Clear urgency right here. I don't have to explain it. The like timeline urgency is one of the most strong things that you can do to push the people over the edges that don't want to click on your link. I would have achieved it right now, you know? And so if I don't do it right now, just right now, if I don't book a call with Shelby's consultant, I'm going to lose another month and then another year.
Because for those of you guys that can't see it, here's how we continue the journey together. So normally, a couple years ago, I would drop a checkout link in the chat to join She Sells. It was a one-time upfront payment, and if you could afford it, great, you're in. And if you can't, I'm so sorry, you have to stay and come back later. Not tonight. I've got one extra trick up this metaphorical sleeve, okay? And that is this. We have a partnership with the top payment processor company. Fancy words for saying we now have personalized payment plans. Okay, so you can break this up however you like, which is exciting. But for that reason, I hired, I think, 40 She Sells advisors. And I told them, give me calendar space because I'm going to have some women booking calls. Okay, so right now you have the chance to book your free personally matched advisor call. I'm about to drop the link right now. Before I do, guys, if you want me to drop the link in the chat, let me know. I have the chat pulled up. Type me in the chat. Type me in the chat if you want me to drop the. Oh shit! Keep in mind that as soon as we drop this link, the spots are first come, first serve, and once they're filled, that's it. So, team, drop the link in the chat. Here's what happens next. You are going to click the button. You're going to book a time that works for you. But before that, you're going to answer a few short questions. These are questions that I personally wrote. They're not like fluff questions or random. They're designed to make sure that this program is the right fit for you and that you're in a position to take action. Not just like so nailed. No, now. Then you will meet with your personally matched She Sells advisor. Guys, this woman is a woman that I have trained from the ground up. She has paid for this program. She has been through the training. She has graduated, got on a different offer, and became one of the best. And then I rehired them internally. So she's a true test. I wanted these women to be true testimonials of the whole thing. So now you're going to be able to ask any question in the book and have that one-on-one safe space conversation to decide what this looks like if you do choose to join. And you will walk out with your full game plan of exactly what you need to do in order to get. So if you're kind of wondering, like, why a call? Why not just the checkout page like you used to do? Well, this isn't Amazon. Okay, you're not buying like a 2-day shipping blender or some knockoff skin set, as much as I love those. You are thinking of joining a legitimate mentorship, one that has changed thousands of women's lives. And if it were me, I would want a one-on-one space where I'm like, yo, these are my questions. What does this look like? And your advisor will tailor everything to you. She will tell you exactly how to fit this into your schedule. You'll walk out with a time plan, but also a personalized payment structure. That way, if you need to, you can break it up over time. That way you feel excited to join, and less pressure of like the one time upfront, okay? But let me be really clear about what this call actually is. Okay, this is a real one-on-one conversation with a She Sells advisor. This is someone who has paid for the program, done the training, gone to my sales training calls, role-played with the AI, gone onto the software, gotten to the interviews, got hired on a separate offer, and they have to make minimum $15,000 a month to even apply to be an advisor for us. Because I wanted them to be true testimonials of this whole thing. Once you kill it in the real world, you are an amazing woman in my book. So I love them, and now you're going to be personally matched to one of them. So she's going to ask you questions, learn about your goals, and help you map out the best path forward based off of your current situation. So just know, though, this is not some free call to book because you want to make a friend. It's like, oh, the sales girl's trying to sell me. It's a sales tactic. Well, I guess that definitely is. There's a better way to build urgency, though, and I will teach you guys that in the program, okay? But what even is She Sells? What is even going on? Well, She Sells is a community of over 9,000 remote closers in multiple different countries.
Actually, this webinar goes on for like 2-3 more hours, and we don't have time to explain it here. But what she basically does is she just talks about the program, the inside knowledge about the program and what is going to happen after you enroll into the program. And I think I'm going to close this video right here because it's going to get too long. But if you want to implement the same exact strategy, put a webinar for yourself. You are a really high level business person and you want to have kind of these webinars for yourself as scripted out, have all of the slides and squeeze every single deal from your audience. That is exactly what we do. So if you just want to have every single bit of this strategy, just book a call, first link in the description, one-on-one with me. And I'm going to actually give you a 30-day plan of how to implement the same exact strategy for yourself. And then from there, if you want it to work with me, if I was like trusted that I can help you, then we'll take it from there. But if no, you can just leave the call with a 30-day strategy. And this was this whole video. I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.